to Humble Dialogues, a podcast of the She Is Still Dope Network. And as you know, I say she is still dope, and so is he. I'm your host, LJ Fountain, and I am thrilled to bring someone who has been quite important in my life over the last few years, Amanda Cohen, who has just worked alongside to help me navigate a disease that really is almost unimaginable to navigate. And she's done it all via technology. Amanda's in Miami. So the fact that we've been together, there are a group of us who get together every month. And I just really wanted you to meet this amazing woman and have her share a little bit about her life. So please join me and enjoy the time with Amanda Cohen. Hi, Amanda.
Hi, Laverna.
I am so, first of all, grateful and excited that you agreed to do this because you really have been a lifeline for me. And I don't underestimate the importance of that. I have multiple sclerosis, and I know you work with people who have many different challenging diseases. One of those groups is multiple sclerosis. So I'm actually going to let you talk a little bit about you. Before we do, though, I have two questions for you that I want you to come through the door talking about. Amanda, tell me what you know and what you'd like to know. And my dog is talking, which means my husband has not shut my door. I can't stand it. Okay.
Laverna, it's such a pleasure to be with you and to talk to you during this time. It really means a lot. You're such a special person, and I'm super excited. So
get him out.
What is it that I know? I know that everybody has a story to tell, whether you're 2 days old or 102 years old. And so that's kind of what I know, saying looking outward. And then if I look in, what do I know about myself is that I'm here, I'm created out of love, and I'm created out of light, and that I'm here to share that with everybody else. And so that's what I know. What do I still want to know? I'd love to know the future. Maybe at 35, you kind of get over that and you know that you're not going to know the future. I'd still love to know what happens. I'd also kind of love to know if you get to ever see your loved ones again and you get to feel that warmth, then I'd love to know that. But those are like questions you never get answers to. You're on mute, love.
Oh, he had to unmute me. So tell me a little bit about what your faith is. And I know that it's a particularly challenging time right now for you and for your family. And so I would like for you to be able to share a little bit about what it's like. I've talked recently with a lot of my Jewish friends, and my heart hurts big time. My heart hurts so bad. And I feel so helpless, like, what can I do? And I am learning to simply be present. But if you're willing, would you share a little bit about your faith journey? And I mean, the other thing I want you to talk about a little bit is your service in faith. I mean, I think you're amazing. And when I hear you talk about the way you support people and you really are a woman of service, that is literally who you are. Now, you're also gorgeous. So that's the other thing. I look at you and I'm like, this woman is so gorgeous. She could do anything she wants to do. And what you choose to do is serve. And to me, that is about as amazing as it can ever get. So would you share a little bit, please?
So for me, service is my purpose. That is why I am here. I lose myself in the service of others. It's nothing about being here is about me. I like grew up as a kid being like, Mom, I want to help people. You know,
Mm.
I was just, it's just me. It's just who I am. Especially service for that of people who are helpless, more helpless, children
Mhm.
for sure.
Mhm.
People with disabilities at some level. That's, you know, what I've tried to create in my life. I just feel very, very strongly about that. It's just something that drives me to live, really, because otherwise, it's about others, not about me.
Yeah, and you're very creative with it. That's what I mean. Part for me is you bring all these creative ideas that help people to be their best self, even with limitations, like to raise them up. And like one time you talked about dancing. You some people who you helped dance. You know, physically they really, they couldn't dance that much, but what they could do, you helped them do. So tell me about that.
I think it's providing a space more than anything else for people to just be comfortable and being more of a listener than a talker in some ways, and motivating people, having fun, but being real, you know, letting them have that time and that space, because I feel like a lot of times people are unheard, you know. When it comes to the dancing thing, I did that with quite a few people with who were living with Parkinson's, and you know, movement and being social are keys to living you know, a life worth living. So I just try to give people little sparks of joy in between the hard stuff, which is
Yeah.
all.
What was that movie called? I want to say Oliver, Dr. Oliver, whatever his, uh, um, Robert De Niro was the doctor. Do you remember? You know what movie I'm talking about?
Oh,
And
gosh,
the
I
people had that disease that they were frozen, and music happened. Some of them started moving, and he found a way. Okay, I have to make sure I show. Literally, it's an old movie because
oh,
I
I
introduced you
have
to.
to check it out.
I have to make sure you do. I forget the name of it, but I have to make sure that you do that. So, tell me, you said you always thought about a life of service. That literally is a driver. Is that a family driver? Is that something that? Oh, okay, okay.
That's just an internal feeling that I have inside. I mean, my family is very service based and very loving. You know, I had just an amazing childhood. Looking back,
Wow.
I consider myself to just be really, really lucky. I'm third generation American, so I'm very American.
Yep.
I'm mixed. My father's family was from Russia. They're Russian Jews, and my
Okay.
mother's family was from Sicily and Italy. Um,
Wow.
very Catholic. So my upbringing, my parents taught me to wonder. They taught me to be curious. So I think that was certainly a blessing in a lot of ways. They chose as a family to raise my sister and I with Judaism. So we
Hmm.
grew up that way, but we also participated in all the Catholic holidays as well. So it was an interesting upbringing. But yeah, service based for sure. I think it's again, you try to bring it to a place where it's not about you, and it's about sharing what you can with everybody else.
So, how do you process the current global crises?
Similar to what you said before, it hurts. You feel helpless. You want to give in any way that you can. You know, I think about a lot of the healthcare providers and hospitals and just everyone from, you know, soup to nuts trying to. It's hard to process
It is.
and
So,
verbal.
what support system do you have for you? I know, first of all, say, I know you're not from Miami. You're actually from the North.
Hmm.
You now live in the South.
Hmm.
You now have the nerve to be where it's warmer. So, what brought you to Florida? How did that happen for you?
Oh gosh, you want the truth? I followed a boy down here.
Of course.
I would
Well,
have
of
lived in
course.
Manhattan in the city in New Jersey and my family. Yeah, but I happen to very much so love the nice weather.
Hmm.
Like
Hmm.
relaxed, you know, it's a running joke, but I am on vacation all the time.
Wow.
You
That would
feel
be
that way living
nice.
down here, you know? There's something very relaxing for your soul about aspects of it.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Would you share from your perspective, would you share something? I mean, I feel like I've been fortunate to be in some of your groups, right? So, has there been anything that's happened in some of your groups that for you was like, wow, wow, so that you walked away and um, and said, I am learning so much.
I love running groups so much. I love what I do more than anything else. So we meet every week, and kind of what gets me, what I the reason why I love what I do so much is people who are truly homebound in some ways. You know, they really don't have the luxury of getting out of their house and being social. You know, we're talking about people who are potentially bedbound to a hospital bed. They can't really move very many parts of their body. Some of them even have a hard time with speech. And um, to feel like a human being and to just be able to talk and to provide that space for somebody who would otherwise not have really very many other connections. I can't tell you how every day I'm just like, oh my gosh, it makes me want to cry sometimes that I can at least provide that, you know. I don't have any answers, but if I can provide a space to create friendships, like, and
Mm-hmm.
relationships, when it comes down
Mm-hmm.
to it, all that matters is building relationships with people. That's it.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
take a lot of pride in that, and I take it very, very seriously.
So, if you are just turning in, I am excited. This is the Humble Dialogues podcast, a podcast of the She Is Still Dope Network. And I always say she is still dope, and so is he. And I say it because basically I got a real dope husband, but also because to have humble dialogue, to really hear people, to really grow and learn, we have to create space for everyone. We have to be willing to hear. And today I am joined by the amazing Amanda Cohen. Amanda, I would love to say what your title is, but I can't. You've always just been my facilitator and friend, so I really don't know if you have an actual like title. I can call you an amazing creative genius. That
Oh,
works for
thanks.
me. Mm,
I'm a
that
friend.
works.
Title can be friend. That
Okay.
works.
She is wonderful, and I am excited that she is here with us. I do want to encourage people to go to the She Is Still Dope network. There's probably a button somewhere that you can scan and be able to use the QR code to take you where you got to go. I don't know the technology stuff. That's why we have experts in technology. What I do know is I work with some amazing people, and it's not work. And that was actually not true. It's not work. I get to interact with some amazing people, and on a weekly basis. And I will tell you one of the things that happened because of the group that Amanda runs. My husband and I took a train trip across Canada, and one of the first thing we did was stop in Vancouver to meet up with one of the members of our group who lives in Vancouver, Canada. And I don't know that I would have done that, but I was so proud to be able to do so, and I would not have had that connection without you. So thank you. The people who come in the group, we're all over the place, aren't we?
Yeah, all over the country, some Europe and Canada for sure. On the back end, I don't like to play matchmaker. You know, that's not my job, but there is some je ne sais quoi to being a little kind of Jewish matchmaker behind the scenes and thinking like, oh, I think they'd get along. And then all of a sudden you look down and you're like, holy cow, we've been together for almost 4 years. And
Right?
and it's just kind of mind blowing. I feel like I have a family. I feel like I have support even. And you mentioned before how it's not work. Getting to do what you do here, it's not work for me. I look forward to it every second of the day. You know, it's such a blessing.
Yeah, I think it is a blessing. And you've been in Florida for how many years now?
5 years.
5. It feels like you were always there. I guess I kind of met you right after you went down there, huh?
Absolutely. Yeah, I went down in
Wow.
2018. I moved down there. Don't get me wrong, I miss New Jersey. I miss New York so much. I
You're a
do.
Jersey girl. Yeah.
I'm a Jersey girl. Yes, in every way.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's okay, because, the good thing is transportation works.
Mm-hmm.
That is,
Can't predict the future. It ebbs and flows.
yeah. So you were telling us earlier about your diverse upbringing. Many of my Jewish friends who, I think the proper terminology is that they marry a Goya. I think is it Goya when you marry someone who's not Jewish, right? Yeah. But there's usually this agreement that if you have children, because the Jewish population has been so decimated, many people have that high commitment to raising their children with an understanding of Judaism. And I actually think it's pretty interesting because, listen, if you from Sicily too, that was too strong. That's too strong. Hey, so okay, here's the other thing. Do you cook any Sicilian food?
Yes, of course.
See, look how you said that. Yes, of course. I
How
could
could I
use some
not?
Sicilian food. That's really good. When I went to Sicily, that was the best food I had. Yeah. So here, I mean, so you've got these two strong cultures raised in a family with a commitment to serve, to recognize diversity, to embrace it all, to teach you, and at the same time to not to not negate the Catholic side, but chose to bring you up in Judaism while still celebrating. So you have a good time all year long. There's all kinds of holidays for you. So when you were, okay, I'm assuming when you were in school, you went not to Catholic school, but to Jewish school. Is that what happened?
We called it Hebrew school.
Hebrew, that's right. That's what my friend would say. It's Hebrew school. That's what we would tell. And what's that like then?
It's a Sunday school. It's similar. The thing about the Old Testament and the New Testament, they're pretty similar in a lot of ways, and I think, so Hebrew school is on Sundays, and as a child I went kicking and screaming, to be completely honest, because you don't understand things as a child. And even more so now as I get older, you want that community, you want that stability. There's something kind of just so beautiful about that in any religion, in any culture. But yeah, my parents chose to raise me Jewish. My mother never converted though.
Wow.
So
wow.
Still Catholic, but my parents, again, very curious in different types of religion. They studied Buddhism together. My parents are both very spiritual, pretty religious.
Wow. Mm-hmm. So I had the honor of going to, if I say it wrong, correct me, a bris. A bris. So I was invited to a bris, and what in someone's home, and what stood out for me was community. That thing you said, the community, that the surrounding and the obligation of the people who were there to recognize that this baby, you have an obligation, if you're there, to be a part of that baby's community. So I'll let you describe what a bris is, though. You want to describe it, okay?
I think everybody knows what a bris is.
Nope.
I don't know. To be completely honest with you, don't want to speak wrong on the meaning behind it, because I don't even know if I know. It's the blessing of, a baby. I honestly don't know the meaning behind it.
And if it's a male baby, it's also circumcision.
Right. The male baby is circumcised at that time.
That's what I saw. I was like, oh. I was there for the circumcision. But it was also, I think, this aspect that you're talking about, it truly is about community. Or at least that's what all feels like to me every time I go to certain, I'm going to say religious cultural events, but it doesn't have to be religious, but it definitely is cultural. There's something about we're in this one together, peeps. We're in this together that I wish lots more people had that opportunity to experience, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, Laverna, that very much so resonates with me in every way. The Jewish community is small, and I think at some level there's an extension of everyone is my brother and everyone is my sister. I wish it could be that way with humanity, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. I think community is so important. I think it's something that's incredibly lost in my generation in particular. You know,
Oh,
us elder millennials. I think we're taught you can do it on your own. You don't need anybody. You get a career, and you don't even need a man. You get out there, and I think
hmm.
that sense of community for us as millennials is gone. I had
Wow.
a very strong sense of community as a kid with both sides. And I
Wow.
still have that, and that's really important to me. And I think that nobody really has that at some level, and we all need it so much.
Wow. That
Uh,
what you just said is pretty heavy. That's heavy. So, if you're just joining us, this is the Humble Dialogues podcast, a podcast of the She Is Still Dope network. She is still dope, and so is he. I'm your host, LJ Fountain, and I am joined today by the amazing Amanda Cohen, both my friend, a part of my support system. I'm not sure that I would make it without her. She recognizes when I'm struggling and she supports and she offers guidance. And right now, she is laying some heavy nuggets of wisdom on me. And yeah, that to me, the need for the younger generation to not be so independent
mm,
is heavy. We really do need each other. And when the older, my generation, when we're gone, we won't be back. So you really do need to be building community now because you are not, I don't want to say you're leaders of tomorrow because you're leaders now. You're the ones, you already build community. That is what you do. That is a part of how you live your life every day. Um, but that was a heavy nugget of wisdom that you just dropped. It said, so what do you think we can do? What do you think? What can we do?
that's such a heavy question. I'm not the answers lady. I'm the listen lady.
Well, what do you feel? What are you getting? Because my business, I always say the answers in the room.
Mm,
Because there's answers within each of us. So what do you have inside of you?
I think be smart, not strong. I think it's okay to ask for help when you need it. I think we have this perception that we have to be strong and we have to do it all on our own. And, I think it's okay to ask for help when you need it. And I hope that
Yeah.
you create some people, you only need 2 or 3 people in your life. It's really all you need for a community and to feel safe, like you're not alone. I think, I don't know how to even go about doing that when your whole culture is be independent. You don't need anyone.
Yeah. But your perspective is, but it's important.
Absolutely.
This is not a maybe do. This is like people. It doesn't have to be a lot, but it got to be somebody. It got to be one, two people, somebody who you can honestly trust to be there, not to just have your back, but to just be there for you, just to support you. Do you have that?
I do. Oh my gosh, I'm so blessed. I have a,
Tell
I
me
have
about it.
I have an amazing mother. I have an amazing sister who I'm very close with. Um, I have a wonderful best friend who I met when I was basically born. So that community was made for me. I grew up on a little lake in very northern Jersey on the border of upstate New York, and all of my family had little houses around this lake. So that community was built in. I always had that support. And even
Eh,
so, I still feel like I have to be independent and do it all on my own.
Really?
Yeah. Even with it. So it's something to think about.
So for you, does it feel like failure if you're not doing it all on your own? I mean, I think no one can do everything on their own, all on their own. I mean, I just, what does that mean to you?
It's certainly not failure to do it with others. You definitely need others to make it work. That's the only way. And I kind of think of it like in a go-giver type sense. Like, you're here to lift other people up. If other people have other people have had the opportunity to help me in my life in certain ways, and so it's my job to help other people and give
Mhm.
back to the community. I don't know
Amanda,
if I
what is,
answered your question.
you did, what is the name of your company or your website or you?
Yeah, it's called Chronic Connections. And again, what I do is I offer support groups, weekly support groups for people living with disabilities and chronic illness. Specialties, more multiple sclerosis, but really it's my job if you want someone to talk to, if you're just feeling alone, you want to connect with other people who you think are cool, that's my job to do that.
So if you had to look down the road, what would you like to be doing 5 years from now?
That's such a lovely question. Be in a park with some babies somewhere.
Oh, oh.
Yeah, I don't running a successful household and just enjoying those simple things in life, the little micro adventures, as I like to say, this like going to the farmer's market and just living life peacefully, you know.
I love that.
Yeah.
Like
Those
it's not,
micro
you're saying I don't want to be a millionaire. I don't want to be a billionaire. I don't need to have a lot of power and control, but it sure would be nice to have a simple, peaceful life and just enjoy every day. How
easier said
beautiful
than
is
done.
that?
That's
Huh?
a lot easier said than done.
It is because life is life, right? Right. So one of the things I think about with our support group is we have this tendency to talk about anything. So if someone contacts you, is there any kind of topic that's out off the table when your groups meet?
No.
Yeah.
No, even if I get red in the face sometimes, no.
Mhm. Yeah.
I want to hear about the juicy stuff. That's what life's about, you know? Come on.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm just want to remind people to go ahead and subscribe to this She Is Still Dope network. There's a button flashing right now. Please subscribe. And but I'd love to hear comments about Amanda, and I'd love for you to reach out to her if you're looking for a support group, someone who can talk with you. I think one of the things that I appreciate is that we actually can talk about anything. It is a safe place where people like me may not get to talk about it anywhere else, whatever our struggles may be. But we're with people who either may have similar struggles or at least they sort of recognize it and they're there to support you. So I do encourage people to to reach out to you if they think they would like a support group. We have about a minute left. And so, what, if you could, what one piece of advice would you like to offer to the viewership?
My one piece of advice would be share love as best you can. Find it inside yourself and smile at somebody. You never know what someone's going through on the inside. So I always, in some way, try to spread kindness at some level, you know?
Isn't that beautiful? Share love. Just
Yeah.
share love. Be kind. You never know what someone's going
Sounds
through.
so simple.
It actually is so simple, and it's the most important thing a person can do. Be kind. You haven't got a clue what's really going on, so just be kind. I'm going to thank people for joining us today, and listening to Amanda Cohen, my friend, my support group leader. She's in Florida. She's went to Florida, but she used to live in New Jersey, so she's still a Jersey girl living in Florida. What's the name of your company again?
Chronic Connections.
Chronic Connection. So, her website is there. So I invite you to find it. I want you to know that one of the symptoms of people with MS is we don't remember things a lot either. So, Amanda just goes along with us and just recognizes that she brings us lots and lots and lots of information. Thank you for joining us on this podcast, Humble Dialogues, a podcast of the She Is Still Dope Network. And I look forward to seeing you again in 2 weeks. Thank you.
Thank you for having me, Laverna. You are so dope as well. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.